Okay, let's continue learning your tool. Now you have the basic knowledge about how to create the splines. Now we are going to create geometry by just from the spline we create right here. So you have the idea that under the create menu we have two options, the CV curve tool and the EP curve tool, and they both work the same way. So how can we create the geometry from them? Okay, so simple example I'm going to take and start with is that if we create 3 cubic curve and we come to here in front view right here. So what I'm going to do is to create a basic shape here and see how would it help me to create the different shapes. So I'm not going to start with the 3 cubic actually. I'm going to start with the linear, the degree 1 curve, and I turn the snap to grid on. And what I'm going to do is to just start from here and click here, and I just want to click right here, and then after that I'm going to click here and here and here and here. The same way when I get here, I just want to bring it back, but I don't want to snap this line to the grid. So click, turn the snap to grid off, come here, click here, down a little bit, and then I just want to turn the snap to grid on and click on here. And when you're done, press the enter key, and now I'm just going to adjust the last point down on the ground. Select the point and hit the move tool, turn the snap to grid off, and just bring it right here like this. So this way, right click and choose object mode. Now I have this line, and the thing that you have to keep in mind, I have started from snapping it right on top of this grid line, meaning the center of the grid, and both of my points, the starting point and the end point, are snapped to the grid. Now how can we create the geometry? If we come to the surfaces menu, under surfaces menu we have the first option, and that is the revolve. What does this option do? You should just click its option box and go to edit and reset the settings. See, the thing that is the axis preset is set to be y-axis right here. So this is a y-axis because we are drawing the line from the front view, so we have the y-axis right here. So what I'm going to do right here is to just click revolve. So this object will revolve 360 degrees from this origin, and it would create a shape like this. Okay, once we have created the shape, we can move it around anywhere, and if you want to scale the shape a little more, we can just scale it. So we have a geometry like this by this, just applying the revolve option. So if we take a look at this line again, so we have Maya keeps the construction history always. If you just turn your render to legacy high quality viewport, and this way we can get the shape something like that. If you press 3, you get the shape like this. But I just want to be staying into the legacy here for now. So we have a shape here. Go to shading and just click the wireframe on shading, turn this on, and this way you have the lines to see what kind of shape is this. So we have a shape here like this. So what I'm going to do is to select this line, and if I want to modify the line, if I bring any kind of modification, if I select them all, select the move tool by pressing a W from your keyboard, and if I move it around, you can see that Maya keeps the history. Whatever I'm changing in the line is being applied to this flower pot. So this way we can easily adjust anything after we have applied any option. So we can adjust this. But what if we select the object, the geometry, and go to edit and delete by type and just press the history. After you delete the history, and if now I select these lines and move them around, there is no connection between this. So this way we can just take a look at Maya keeps the construction history always along. So I'm just going to keep it aside right here and select this line again and go to again this option, the surfaces and the revolve. And if you take a look at some other options, like here is the axis preset, and under there we have some surface degree curves. We can either create this in the linear mode or in the cubic mode. If I want to create it in the linear mode and apply that and come to perspective view, you can see the shape is in the linear way. That was a smooth one. Hold on the shift and select this, but this one is created in the linear way. So if you want to create something in the linear style, you can just choose the option. So just move it to the other side like here and select the line again, and I'm going to set it back to cubic again. So here is a start sweep angle and end sweep angle. What does this mean? If I keep the angle at 180 degrees, the end sweep angle, and I apply this, it won't create a complete shape, rather it will just create the half shape. The end sweep angle would be set onto 180 degrees. So I'm just going to turn it back to 360. Okay, down what we have here is the number of segments. By default, whatever way we are creating, we are getting the 8 segments. If you click here, we have the 8 segments. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8 segments. If you want to turn it into the different, like if you want the 4 segments and apply, select the line and now apply, you get the shape, but now you have the just 4 segment, meaning you are just creating the low geometry, even the keeping the smaller segments into it. But if I want to create some smooth shape by entering the 12 into this and select the line and click create, now we have the much smooth geometry because we have number of segments here. So this the shape, the more number of segments you have, the more smooth shape you get. So this is a formula you have to just keep in your mind. And what else we have down here, I'm going to change it back to 8 right here. And if we take a look at this one, here's a curve range, and that is a complete or partial. What does this mean? This is an excellent option if you want to whether create some animation or we just want to bring some change into the line, into this geometry. So we have the complete selected as a default. I'm going to choose the partial. What does it mean? If you apply this one and you keep it aside, after you select this shape, now you come to revolve here. So what you get here, subcurve. So you have 2 values here, min value and maximum value. So if we play with this value, you can see that the shape is partially being created. If you play with this value, the shape is partially being created. Something like this. The same way, if you play with this value, you get the other way. Shape is partially being created. So you can get a connection if you want to show something being created and you want to keep its history and you want to animate it later on, you can choose this option, the partial one. So I'm gonna come here back and select reset the setting, and we get the every option back to normal. So what else we have down here is the output geometry type. So whatever we have created so far is being created in the nubs because the geometry type by default is selected as to be NURBS. If I want to create some polygonal shape, I can choose the polygons, and when I select the polygons, I get so many options down here. So here's a type that is a triangular. That means if you apply, so you get your shape, but we get the face as a triangle. But if we select the chords and select this one, apply, we get it in a chord. But now the shape is not the NURBS anymore, it's a proper polygon. So we can see that we can create the polygons here down here. I'm not going to explore other options, but you can just explore them. Just select the option and see the result, and this way you quickly learn your tools a lot. You always have to explore everything because everything can't be taught to you, because there's so many things. If you start just teaching each option, definitely it's going to take a lot of time. so you have to explore the options. The main option that you need to know about your tool, I have already explained them. So revolve always revolves any curve along 360 degrees from the pivot point. So if you select all of them and you press delete, select all of them and press delete, this way you are going to delete these things. Okay, I'm going to close this one, and let's take some other example on what we can do with the revolve. If I'm going to go and take 3 degrees curve, I'm going to apply something. If I just create a shape something like this, and if I want something to be more like this, I'm just going to create something. And after this, I'm going to select the turn the snap to grids on and just click here and press enter. This way I just want to keep my pivot point right at the center of the grid. That's why I always snap to grid for my last or the start point. If you select this one, go to revolve, and I'm going to reset everything because I have been delving and changing so many options right here, and press revolve, you get the shape like this. You can see we can create any kind of shape by just applying. Just the thing is that we have to create a profile of anything, and when we revolve it, it revolves to 360 degrees and it creates the different kind of stuff. Okay, you select all of them and delete. So I'm going to create and give you another example. If I create something like this, if we turn snap to grid on, select this one, turn it off, you go all the way around, something like this. If you create something like this and again snap to grid on and press enter, right click and choose the control vertex and move this a little up, something like this. And now select the object mode, select the line, apply the revolve, and this way you get the shape like this. But what if you apply the scaling option? If you scale it down, and you can get the different kind of shapes, and you can just apply, you can play with them, and even after you get your shapes done, you can modify them more whatever way you want them to be, to get a different shape, something like this. So you have to keep in mind that you have to look at your geometry, whatever you want to create, and see which option is best for you to just start creating that. Maybe I want to get a style like that, maybe this one kind of a style is this, and maybe I'm going to select all of these points and give them a look like that. And if you take a look at this shape now, it's a different shape, and if you look at a first glance, you may not think that it's been created by the revolve option. You may think, how would this be created? But if you pay concentration on the basic shape, on the flow of the line, you may notice that by the help of revolve you can create the shapes like that. So modeling is all about exploring and understanding and observing your geometry and your objects, and this way you can easily model your different kind of stuff. So all the round shapes, those have the 360 degree or even less than that angle, you can just create them with a revolve. So select both of them and delete. The other option I'm going to explore here is the loft. So what does the loft do? If I'm going to create something like, I'm going to take now the EP curve tool, come back to the front view, and what I'm going to create here, maybe I'm going to create something like this. If you turn the snap to grid on, click here, and I'm going to click here, maybe same way, 3 units, and click here, and the same way I'm going to click here. So I get an option, press enter, and you get a shape like this. So you come to the perspective right now and select your curve. What I'm going to do is to go to edit curves and select the offset and click the offset curve, and this way I get the same shape like this. So I select both of them and Ctrl D, I'm going to duplicate them and turn the snap together off and bring them a little back, something like this. So what I'm going to do now is to select these two front lines, go to surfaces and loft. What does the loft do? It creates a geometry between two curves you select. Now I'm going to turn off the geometry so that I can't select the geometry. Select this line and the back line and press loft. The same way I'm going to select this line and this inner line and press loft. And this way, if you take a look at that, you get a shape like this. And if you select this line and press the loft, and you get a shape, the cartoonic door or gate. So what I'm going to do is to create another thing right here. What I'm going to create is the half door right here. So come here, and what I can do right here is to duplicate this curve, Ctrl D, by pressing Ctrl D, and just come to the perspective and move it a little here. And now you go to front view again, go to create the CV curve tool and click the linear degrees one and snap to grid, turn on, click from on top of this shape to down here and press enter. The same way, snap to grid, turn it back off, and if now you select this line and I just copy the value by selecting and pressing the Ctrl C to copy, select this one and paste the value by pressing the Ctrl V here. This way you get them on the same position. I select both of them and go to edit curves and select the cut curve, and this way I can just select both of them and cut curve. Again apply this. Oh, it's not being cut. Okay, if it's not being cut here, I may have to apply it from the front view actually, and this way we get it. Okay, let's give it one more try here. So EP curve tool and turn it to linear, and the same way snap to grid and snap to grid here, press enter, you get a line. The same way you have to paste the value by Ctrl V, you get them on one line, and you select them both together and apply the cut tool. This way maybe, okay, I'm not getting them right here. So what else I can do with them, because they're just perpendicular to each other, this may create a problem right here. So what I'm going to do here is to just rotate it along x-axis 90 degrees, meaning negative 90 degrees. Here I'm laying it right on top of the ground and select this one, the same thing, negative 90 degrees. Here go to the front top view, now select both of them and click the cut curve, and this way you get it. Because the front view they were not intersecting actually, so I went to the top view and I got the shape back. So what I'm going to do is to place the 0 right here and you get the shape back here. Okay, I'm going to undo this because I don't want to delete this portion of the line right here. Select both lines, press 0, and you get them right here. So when I get them here, what I'm going to do is to select them both, this one, and go and click Loft. And this way you get a door here. Select the geometry and you can go and bring it a little back here. Just turn the snap to get off and bring it right here and press the Ctrl D. I have just duplicated this, and on the x-axis, here is the x-axis, if I go on the scale X and press the -1 and type the -1 here, I'll get it mirrored to the other side. Delete, and this way you get a door right here. So we have a door, a cartooning door we have created right here by just choosing a very simple option and applying that, and we get a shape something like this right here. So we have a door here, and if you want to open the door, we have to fix the pivot back to here so that we can open the door. So come right in front, and what you can do here is to press the insert key and bring your pivot point up here, and then bring it right, Ctrl Z here, maybe here, and press insert again, and this way now we can open the door. If we want to rotate it, we have the door already open right here. So this way you can see that how easily and how quickly we can shape our geometry and create a different kind of geometries to this. We have been learning to these options, and I'm going to apply them right here, and you can get an idea how quickly and easily you can create different kind of geometrical shapes, and see how easy this is. So you can gonna build a house around that, and you can easily do that if you want to, and this will help you easily create different kind of shapes. Okay, I'm going to delete them, and the next option I'm going to discuss is the planner option. I'm not going to come here and discuss so many things, but if you come here, you have the complete and partial option. You can turn to any kind of resulting geometry, the knobs, the polygon, the bezier, and other option I'm not going to discuss right here. So the next option is a planner. And what does the planner do? If you have a closed shape, the planner can be applied. If I come right on top here, and if I come to the front right here, and if you create something right here, okay, the same way if I go and create the EP curve tool, and maybe I turn the snap to grid on, I click here, I click here, I click here, and maybe I click here, I click here, I click here, and I again click here and press enter. I have a shape like this, and if you take a look here, I have a shape something like this, and be sure I have selected the EP curve tool with the 1 degree selected. That's by this I get the shape like this. And if I can press the Ctrl D to create a duplicate copy of this, if I select both of them and press apply the loft, you get the shape like this. But if I select this one and I want to fill this in, I'm going to here and press the planner, and it's going to help me fill the shape. You can see we have filled the shape right here. So planner is the important option, and planner can help you fill any kind of geometry. But be sure, if I turn the geometry back on and get the points, if you move any of your vertices around a little bit, okay, not on the geometry but onto this line, if you move it, okay, I'm just going to select the geometry and delete this one for now to give you understanding. Select this one, click right mouse button and choose the control point, and if you move this, it's no more planner. So now select the object mode, and if you select this and apply the planner option, so it's not going to work right here. So you have to be careful that if you have something like this, you can't apply the planner here. Rather, you can go and apply the boundary here. Okay, I'm not going to discuss the boundary right here, but in this case we can't apply the planner onto this shape. So press undo and you get the shape back here. In the same way, if you select this one and you move any of your points, you are not able to apply the planner anymore right onto this. Okay, and these three are very important options. So what does the extrude do? Actually, if you create any kind of shape, I'm going to take a circle right here. If you're going to apply the extrude right here, you go and you have different kind of option, the style. I'm going to choose a distance, and I want to just extrude it on 6 unit. So click apply, and you see you get it extruded right here. But what else I can do with it? I can extrude it on a path. If I go and choose EP curve tool by snapping to grid turn on, and if I just go and click here, turn it off, and if okay, I don't need degree 1 here, so you better choose the option and get the degree 3 here. Click here and you get kind of a shape here, something like this, and press enter. So now you select the circle, hold down shift and press this path and come to extrude. So you have an option here, is a tube. You want this to be at a profile and click apply, and you see you get shape something like this. This is gonna follow its path, and this is very handy option. If you select this one in path and you go and change the options, maybe you want it at a path, it'll be a resulting position be at a path, and you select this one and click apply, and this way you get see different option. So you have them like here, and you can go and you can explore them and you can work with them. So whatever geometry you create, you get some other options right beneath here. If you select the geometry after it's been created and you come here in the input section in the channel box, you get some other option like the extrude type is tube. If you want it to be flat, and this way it's gonna flat the geometry right here, or if you want to choose a distance, you can just select distance or a tube. Fixed on a path or not, you can turn it on or off, and you have some other kind of directional option on Z. Maybe you want to turn it on Z and not here, you can do so. Maybe on the 1, you can apply the options right here. You can choose a length, rotation and scale. Maybe rotation does mean you want to rotate it along. If you select this, you may get some twisting kind of effect right here, and here is the scale option. Through this you can create a taper effect. At the end it will just get into a taper shape, or maybe you can, if you turn it back to 1, it will be the same radius of the starting position. So you can play with this option and you get different kind of results. We are going to work for them and for these results right here. So these options you can get for every, if I press Ctrl D and come here and apply the loft here and select this one, I get the option for loft right here, the uniform, the thing like that, the sectional spans, you may increase them like this, the degree one or the linear. You have different kind of option. After you create the geometry, you select that and you get the different kind of options. If you select this one and rotate it 90 degrees along here, and I'm going to move it right here. Now I want to bring its pivot point right in the on top in the grid, on the origin of the grid. So bring it, snap to grid, turn on, and with the middle mouse pressed, you move your mouse here and it will snap to the grid. And you select this circle and you go and apply the revolve here, and you get a geometry like this. So you select this and you have the different options right here, and you can work with them. The sweep, start sweep and end sweep, everything. After you create your geometry, you have the options. You can go and play with them. You get most of the options, you have them right here. You get most of the options and you can just work with them. So I'm not going to explain other options right in this demo because we're going to work onto them later on in this section. But here you can get and see we have so many options we have been exploring so far, and we can go and work with them. So select this and go delete. I'm going to tell you some more options right here. If we go to create, we have a nubs primitives right here, and we can create geometrical shapes by these options. If we click on create a sphere here, we have a spherical shape here, and if we select this and we go here into input section and click the make nub sphere 1, we get the radius option by which we can just create any kind of radius here. If I select 1, here's a start and end sweep angle. You don't have the idea for this, and if you want it to be linear or the cubic, number of section, number of spans, even the height ratio is not going to work right here into the sphere. We can get this like this. So we can scale it down, we can give it a different shape. We have the control vertices onto that, we can play with them to give it more different kind of shapes, and we have everything like here. We can play with them to create different kind of geometrical shapes. So we have other kind of primitives right here. If you come here and you click the, you tear off your menu by clicking on these started lines, you get a cube here. It's the 6 plan. Actually, if you play them, it's a combination of different patches. Those are going to make a cube right here, and I'm going to undo everything. And if you select it as a cube, you also get some options down in the cube section. You select delete. We have a cylinder right here. Select this one, you get the options down here the same way. You can just explore them, and if you delete this, we have a cone here right here, and the same option we get here, and we can work with them. And you can just explore the option, change the values, and see the results. And we have the torus, maybe a planar, to create a planar shapes, a ground, or maybe some different kind of effects we can get through this, and we have it like here. So we have different kind of options that we can apply from here. So if you select and delete this, and if I select this one, so if you select this one, if you go and create a sphere right here, and I'm going to select the isopalms, go here, insert isopalms. Maybe if you click here, you move it here, the isopalm, by selecting, and go and click the insert isopalm, and this way you get the isopalm here. If you select again the isopalms, click this line. Isopalm means a line, the edge, and you go and insert isopalm, and this way you can insert the isopalm. The same way, if I go and choose the isopalm, I want to move like this and go and insert isopalm, I get an isopalm right here. But with the help of these isopalm, we can shape our objects by just choosing them and moving them along. We gotta shape something, and we can shape like a cartoonic character. Maybe it's a nose of a character like this, and we're going to work, and it's the forehead of a character like this. This may be going to be a chin to the character, and we can play and just modify and get different kind of shapes right here. So there are so many options we are going to explore into this. So knowing your tool is so important. I'm going to stop the demo right here, and we will just see whatever we have learned into these options. About these options, we are going to apply them into a warm-up demo, and we're going to model some geometrical shapes and see how they are going to help us.